We got, we're over here. Let's see. Okay. So, good morning everyone out in YouTube land. We're going live on all the platforms here. Top of the morning to everybody out in cyberspace. We're loving it. Psycho chickens of cyberspace. It's Troy Casey, your leader. We're here. We are here on planet Earth, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this morning. We will do a little breath work and just check in with you guys in honor of the yoga community that has lost their fucking mind. I say that they've been lost since day one. I lived in LA and I watched the whole thing emerge. And what tripped me out was this level of hubris and arrogance and just turning, the sacred element of yoga, which is an eightfold path, into an aerobics class. And then putting on your fucking little crystals and shit and being like, oh yeah, I'm spiritual now. I have arrived, right? So namaste, motherfuckers, right? I see the God in you, motherfuckers. That's a street lingo term, right? For me, it's a term of endearment. It's also a way to do the haka and drag motherfuckers out. If people are weak and they're going to be offended by simple shit, right? If they're going to be easily offended, then they're easily manipulated, and therefore they are dangerous. Dangerous. All right, before we get into it, guys, top of the morning to you. Psycho Chicken of Cyberspace, Troy Casey, your leader. We're here. We're going to take a bunch of herbs, right? There, see that pink one? That's a zinc. That's the zinc, natural coloration of plants. See the green in there? Natural coloration of plants. And this is in organic vegetation material, veggie cellulose capsule, right? These are in capsules. You can open them up and put them in your smoothie if you want. This is loaded with superfoods, beets, wheatgrass, spirulina, adaptogens. What else is in here? Aloe digest. So there's aloe vera in here, which will heal the intestinal lining. We are bombarded with industrial compounds daily that we breathe in and we take into our tissues. That stuff needs to be detoxified. God put the proper materials on this planet to help our body and our cells naturally detoxify, and that's represented in greens. Also in red. And like everything we're going to talk about on this class today is knowing the difference between chicken soup and chicken poop, because there's a difference. Noticing the difference between a fraud yoga teacher and a legit yoga teacher. And I ain't calling myself a yoga teacher. How about that, guys? I studied yoga, I studied meditation, I studied the eightfold path, and I do my best to apply and practice it daily. But I don't call myself a yoga practitioner, okay? I don't need nomenclatures to define me, especially nomenclatures that have been co-opted by political and economic gain. And so big shout out to Sean Korn. She's been completely brainwashed and duped into calling anyone that disagrees with her an anti-vaxxer, Trump supporter, QAnon, conspiracy theorist, racist, misogynist, rapist. This is the way the social engineering slippery slope goes to divide and conquer you against your brothers and sisters, right? These major corporations that this fucking bitch was on, PBS NewsHour, ain't no fucking NewsHour. This is fucking paid advertising for the drug companies, for the drug cartels, for the banking cartels. If you are ignorant, if you were brought up in an industrial age school system and you were brought up with tremendous amounts of ignorance, being schooled, being doped up on these ideas, being in culture, getting caught up in culture. I've been in pop culture. I create pop culture because I see the power of it, but I'm not part of pop culture. You got that? I have no contractual basis with any entity on the face of this fucking planet, except for my own contractors, right? Think about that. I renounced my affiliation to the United States Corporation, City of Sedona, any of that shit. I don't have any corporate affiliate ties. Okay, so we're gonna chuck this down the neck. And we've got, these are amino acids as well. It's like an herbal salad, guys, right? I got herbs in here, chopped up, dried herbs, non-irritated, non-fluoridated. No fillers, no binders, no carcinogens, no artificial flavoring, artificial coloring. Because remember, guys, if you don't know the difference between chicken shit and chicken soup, you're assed out. You ain't gonna know anything. So start using your intelligence and your intuition to discern the truth from bullshit. And ultimately, there is only one truth. I am. Everything else is made up story, conjecture, opinion, memories from your past, and your ability, as you know, if you've studied court and law, your ability to recollect comes from your own bias and perceptions. The only truth that exists is I am, here, right now. Yeah, somebody was talking about the grass being greener. Look, one thing I pride myself on as a teacher is not getting on my own high horse. We're all in the same boat. Right? It's all just varying degrees of understanding and where you're at as an individual. But we're all in the same boat. We are all awakening to our own divinity. We are all realizing our wholeness and our connection to the all. All right, we're going to do some breath work, and in an effort not to be a slob on camera, I will bring this tool right here, known as a... I encourage everyone to clear the channels, blow out your nose. When you are doing breath work, don't feel embarrassed by bodily functions. That's a good way to get constipated. Constipated in the mind and then constipated in the body. All right, so we're gonna do a couple of breath work, and then we're gonna get into some philosophy, and we may have some of my business partner and other entrepreneurs that I train come on and talk. Remember, guys, this is a war of the minds. The final frontier is the battlefield of the mind. And so we're gonna get into the fake yoga community. I'm gonna call a spade, right? And you out there, you real yoga practitioners will know the difference. Because you won't be offended, right? You won't be offended. So namaste, motherfuckers. Let's breathe, baby. Okay, so here we go. In through the nose, out through the nose. Turn the head from side to side. Get the eustachian tubes open up. You'll hear them start crunching in there, right? Stretch out the face. Hey, Michael Sadal, the abundant yogi. See, we're gonna get this motherfucker on, right? He's one that I consider a real one, right? We're all real. It just depends on the varying degrees of understanding, right? Okay, guys, in through the nose, out through the nose. Pumping the belly button into the diaphragm, pumping the belly button into the heart. Here we go. Exhale all the way. Hold. Inhale, hold. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Make a sound when you let it out. If you've got people in the house, you don't want to let them think you're a freakazoid more than they already do. Then maybe just make less of a sound. So this is a cleansing breath. You can let out emotions, screams, whatever floats your boat. I like to get into the larynx and clear any kind of phlegm or just anything. Clear the channels, guys. Clear the channels. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe you're sick of the way the world's going. Just let it out, guys, because it's going to come out in your conversation in a sideways vibration. You might as well just fucking... All this COVID bullshit. All this divide and conquer. All this decimation of the planet Earth and blaming it on others. But it's only our ignorance and our use of manifest destiny and oil that's fucking it up. We are the problem. Therefore, we are the solution. Breathe, motherfuckers. Get it out. It's in there, baby. Yes, tingling, lightheadedness, numbness, this is all real. This is part of the yogic path, baby. Woo! Union of body, mind, and soul, baby. Keep going, guys. Give it all you got, man. You got enlightenment right here, baby. If they fuck with you, just keep breathing. This is nutrition. Numero uno, in 3 to 5 minutes, no oxygen, you're fucking dead. Big shout out to Sensei Eric Kiahe out in Oahu. He's a breather. He's a Hickson Gracie black belt. Get that stank, dank energy out of the esophagus, out of the gut. It's all attached to the emotions. Focus on the out breath more than anything. Your instrument, God knows how to inhale. Try and focus on the diaphragm, not the scalenes and the brachial plexus and the chest. Try and get it in the diaphragm. Getting high on your own supply, motherfuckers, when you ain't fucking around. This ain't no fucking LA yoga class, right? With fake, phony yoga teachers, right? You know who you are, you fake, phony, fucking yoga teachers, right? Hubris, arrogance, the opposite of yoga, right? People think I'm copying Wim Hof. People think I'm usurping yoga. I went through a divorce. I got my own fuckery in my own mind. I'm trying to clear my dome piece, right? I'm just figuring this out. I could do this in a jail cell. I could do this in paradise up the river, right? And I usually do. Keep breathing, motherfuckers. Exhale all the way. Keep breathing. Inhale, hold, squeeze. Yeah, call me a yoga fraud. I don't fucking care. Union of body and mind. Get it how you can, baby. Get it how you can, even if you get all doped up on all the fucking commercial shit they're trying to shove down your fucking brain and your bloodstream. Woo! It's a great time to be alive, party people. I love you guys so much. Yeah, let's get high on our own supply. Ain't nobody in control of my mind, motherfuckers! Woo! Here we go. Let's do one more round of the yang, and then we'll get you guys into some yin and prepare the mind for a little conversation. I like that cleansing breath. It's good. Let's just do the breath of fire. Keep it simple, and then we'll get into some slow breathing. You guys want your six-pack abs, right? You get the Ripped at 50, and I offer this book for free digitally to anybody that wants it. Send me a DM. And we're live on all platforms right now, or at least all the existing commercial platforms. Add me on Rumble, add me on Patreon, add me on Telegram. We're on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Instagram Live right now. Breath of fire. Actually, let's do the anger one, the temper tantrum, right? Ready? So. Pace yourself and give it all you got, guys. Clear the channels. Get it out, guys. Exhale all the way. Hold. Hey, Flow Wolf, what's up, bro? Flow Jiu-Jitsu in the house. Rob, what's up, buddy? Good to see you guys. Much love and blessings to all you motherfuckers out in cyberspace. All right, let's do the B-Buzz. A couple rounds of the B-Buzz. Calm the parasympathetic nervous system. It really cleared my head, you know. So get your cranium rocking, 2 fingers gently on the eyes. And then everything else on the skull, find a piece of the skull where you can get it. Inhale, and then exhale inside your mouth and make the sound of a bee buzz. So, Get your cranium to rock at the certain area, and you'll feel your whole head buzz, and that'll activate the vagus nerve, which will put you into rest and digest mode. Here we go. Hopefully you guys were able to play with that a little bit. Tune in the frequencies of your own brain, right? I was starting to get really high octaves. I could feel the center of my brain. And so I'm sure that's how some other yogi motherfuckers up in the Himalayas got divorced from his wife and kicked out of his house. Went up to his ice cave and figured that shit out, right? If you ain't laughing, baby, you're crying, man. Because it's so fucking weird out there. All right, we're going to get into this, guys. Drop a comment in the box. I know some of you guys probably want to come on. And so we'll provide for that. Hey, I love you so much. I appreciate you guys. Such parasympathetic practice. Yeah, it totally is. And so, yeah, if you guys are tuning in, you guys want to come on, I'm on Instagram Live, I'm on Facebook Live, Certified Health Nut, and I'm on YouTube Live. God bless all you guys, my YouTube followers, man. You guys have been there for a long time, man. Namaste, motherfuckers. You know, so that's where I started. If you guys don't follow me on YouTube, you know, you can scroll back 16 years, see me working in the Amazon. Never regretted doing meditation with you. Okay, well, God bless you guys. So, all right, let's see what we can get into. So this morning, big shout out to my friend Jill out in Santa Monica. She's a yoga mama. Well, she's a vaccine mama. I was working with her when I was living back there, and you know, she works with Robert Kennedy Jr.'s foundation. They stormed the mayor's yard protesting vaccine passports. So today, Sean Korn announced, or a couple days ago, she announced she was on PBS or something like that. And I've been in and around the same circles because I was in LA. I was in the conscious community, the healing community, the yoga community. You know, I was friends with Brian Kest back in the day. And of course, Brian was the one who single-handedly really put yoga on the map. I think my boy Baron Baptiste, you know, it kind of happened at the same time, but there was some, you know, big homies. I went to college with Baron Baptiste. Big shout out to Baron. And of course, I was friends with Brian Kest, you know, as he was coming up. And I had studied Mysore Ashtanga yoga, which is basically, you know, kind of a self-practice. Well, it is a self-practice. You roll out your mat and you do the series. And, you know, I saw a lot of arrogance and hubris in that community. You know, I started studying with one of Madonna's coaches down in Miami. And, you know, and I tell you, you go do, you know, 500, 600, 700 hours, 1,000 hours of yoga in India, and it's day in, day out, and it's very tiring. It'll break the body down. You'll release a lot of tension. And then if they do teach the meditation, which in the United States, they don't really teach meditation. For the yoga practice, it's simply the physical practice. And so, you know, I don't want to browbeat it too bad. It is what it is. It's good that yoga, the consciousness of union of body and mind. But I break down the etymology of words, and I break down the ideas conceptually, linguistically, and really get to the root of what it is. And yoga is the union of body and mind. Ultimately, body, mind, and soul know that we're integrated into the all. It's part of my philosophy, Paul Chek's philosophy. First of all, you focus on the I. Give the nutrients or whatever the I needs, and then you build the I up until you have present and awareness that you're connected to the we, right? The earth, the garden that feeds you, and then the people that are, you know, in your local community. And then from the we, you know, you can branch out to the all and know that we're all connected. And ultimately, we're all connected to the space as well, to the stars, to the everything, to the all, right? Super connection, superconductor, super connector. And so that is the essence. And, you know, what I saw coming out of the 90s with the yoga community in Los Angeles was, you know, it goes hand in hand with the entertainment industry and with the fashion industry and with the music industry. And, you know, I'm becoming a little bit more famous these days. More people recognize me on the street. So people ask me for attention and energy, and I usually don't go out unless I have the energy, because I know that, and it's my responsibility as someone who gets more attention to be available, right? And so living in Los Angeles, people don't really understand. It's a big city. There's a lot of celebrities there, and people try and come up and get their energy all the time. And if they don't have the tools and the ability to deal with that, it can seem extremely off-putting and arrogance. And this arrogance translates into other aspects of Los Angeles. It's, you know, again, I grew up on the street as a kid. You know, if you start acting like a punk, somebody's going to pull your card. So it's best, you know, it's best to present yourself in an authentic way. Because if you're authentic, you can't bullshit yourself. You don't have to be two-faced. You don't have to be cool with this one person and tough with this other person, right? You can just be your fucking self, right? And then there's no lying, cheating, there's no bullshitting, right? You're not bullshitting yourself. You're not bullshitting another, right? And there's a lot of threat assessment and psychic abilities and threat assessment through kind of street consciousness. People that have been abused, people that have been around, you know, loud energy. Their nervous system has been backed up either in the womb. Their nervous system has been jacked up either in the womb or outside of the womb in the family life. Drugs, alcohol, violence, stuff like that. And so I've just seen, you know, a ton of arrogance in the city of Los Angeles. And let me tell you, you would think the yoga community would grow a little bit more and be a little bit better than that, but it was actually uh, just as bad, if not worse, because what happens, and somebody said I got punched in the mouth in 3rd grade and learned not to be a punk, right? Hey, no fucking shit, you know? Mike Tyson's like, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, let me play the victim. Let me be like, oh, I'm being so offended by misinformation. I'm wounded. My sacred space is wounded. I'm offended. Golly gee. And so the problem is you didn't get fucking punched in the face in the 3rd grade for your stupid fucking attitude, right? Because that ain't reality. And a heavy dose of reality is coming to all. Trust me. A heavy dose of reality is coming to all through the cosmic event and the physical material events that we have happening contiguously. And if you haven't been paying attention, I am here to tell you that they have been going on contiguously before the COVID scam, before the pandemic by the World Economic Forum or the UN Agenda 21 written in 1992. A lot of these spiritual conspirituality like wannabes, wannabe important people, right? You are not important, right? That's the thing. You're not important. You are part of the programming of the machine, and you are there to do their bidding as a pawn. You are a fucking pawn. So there has been throttling of consciousness and manipulation of the air, the water, and the soil. They're just coming after your mind now, baby. But they have been poisoning your air, water, and soil. And Sean Corn should know this. Stupid dumb bitch. Fucking going off on the mouth with all sorts of fucking stupid shit. She's a sucker. She's a media whore. She got on PBS. She's like, woo, I made it. I made it to TV. Whoa. Maybe she was on Gaia or some other, bullshit show like that or something like that. But the bottom line is she's a media whore. And she got on PBS. And they're searching for people like me that want to switch over and say, hey, and I'm going to start working for the banking cartels, and I'm going to start working for the pharmaceutical. I mean, how much would you fucking hate on me if I started going, you know what, guys? I was wrong. I think some toxic compounds with some toxic side effects is good vitamins and minerals for you guys, right? I studied it long enough, and I know that synthesized and standardized and isolated chemicals cause damage inside the body. You can't stick linear inputs inside of a harmonic dynamic system contiguously and expect to get different results or dynamic results, right? If you're putting linear inputs in something, and this is a dynamic system, eventually you're going to just make it like a robot or stiff, like fluoride in the water makes your teeth harder for cavities and dentistry. But what they do is it makes them brittle, and then it calcifies your pineal gland, and there's side effects of putting this type of toxic sludge in the water, right? Even though they scientism, research bias paid for that fluoride is good for you, or it's harmful at, a bunch of parts per billion or per million, it's all scientifically validated. Why? Because they needed to put this mining sludge, this waste somewhere, and they couldn't, it was too expensive to get rid of, right? Everything has to deal with economics. When you really understand, you have to dig down to bedrock. But how could, let me see if I can make some points and unpack this, right? Because what's happening right now is this is social engineering's critical moment, right? You're seeing it culminate. You have the have and have-nots. There's always been a distance there, right? And then you've got race, I think the banking cartel that owns the media. Well, my research shows that the banking cartel that owns the media, they've been funding both sides of the war since Napoleon, which includes Hitler. So you should really observe this, right? So who made the motors for the Sherman tanks? Who fed the Nazis gasoline? Who made what American companies made technology to help the Nazis during the war? Okay, and then what was the turn? What was the Battle of the Bulge? What was the turn? What happened? Did the Bush family pull the oil supplies from the Nazis? You know, hey, look, there's logistics. Does anybody know military, right? There's logistics. You put a team over here, and then you surround the perimeter, and then you penetrate, right? And then if they attack and they've got more dominant forces, you retreat, you recapitulate, you regroup, you resupply. I got a closet full of ammo. I'm here to tell you, the shit's fucking heavy, right? It's an industrial, like, roller bags and shit like that, and it's heavy, and it ain't a lot of ammo. I mean, it's good enough. It might last, it might last a few days, or it might last a few years for hunting purposes. But you also got to do target practice, right? You got to keep sharp. So you got to reload. You got to re-up. And so there's military strategies. And so what are they doing, right? This is the battlefield of the mind. So first they try and say that you're sick, but there's a 99.9999% survival rate. And corona means all around, so that means it's like the common cold or the flu. And then lo and behold, the flu statistics vaporized, right? So the lying is layered. And then when you don't believe the lie, they start turning people against each other. This is divide and conquer. It's part of the Communist Manifesto. I highly recommend reading it. They started with feminism in the 70s to divide families against each other. So in this world, divorce is so easy, right? And disgruntled offendedness and triggeredness from women playing the victim is so easy. Oh, honey, you're a victim. Oh, honey, those men. Oh, God, And so what do we have? We have fatherless fatherless homes are the biggest problem, especially in the inner city. In the inner city, I think one of the reasons why I have balance, my parents had a lot of love, even though I had a broken home. They did have love, and my stepfather, taught me. He grew up on the street. He was an orphan, and he was abandoned. He was on the street since he was a child, fighting, and he lived in Edinburgh, Scotland. And I got the tough side of life from him. And, I'm getting a little emotional because I was able to tour his orphanages in 2003. And we ran into one of the headmasters there, and he started talking to him about the experiences there. And I heard the stories and how he had to fight for his life, and just as a kid, and how the headmasters would beat him, and how he saved money, and they put him in another home, and they found the money, and they, when he got to the new home, the headmaster stripped him naked and whipped him with a fucking leather belt for stealing. And he had collected the money as a kid. And I knew that some of that energy had gotten transferred to me and my brothers. And I was able to forgive them in that moment. My father was a product of the war. He was a product of World War II. So I was able to forgive him visiting his orphanages in Scotland in 2003. And the story of my stepfather, who I love very much, he's a good guy, even though, we all go through trauma and stuff. He was able to admit his mistakes, unlike my real father. And so I have a lot more love and forgiveness for my stepfather. And so in 2003, I went and toured his orphanages with his estranged younger brother. You know, both of them were in their 60s at the time. And just hearing the stories. So the story goes that my grandfather was on, I think he was in the Navy, and his ship got hit in D-Day. D-Day was Normandy. So his ship got hit in where the channel goes, the straits for, UK and the France is right there. And then, so they took the damaged ship and they went into the port in Edinburgh and they repaired the ship. And my grandfather was a young military guy or Navy guy, and he was on leave, and I think he got a Purple Heart as well because he was injured. And so he was on leave, and as young sailors do, they go out and drink and, find women and hookers and the whole nine. And he had found this woman that worked up on Princess Street, or I think the street behind, which is Rose, which was the Hostro, right? For any of you city dwellers that know what the Hostro is. And so I don't know, the whole story, but there was two servicemen that this woman had sex with and had children with. Two of them were with my grandfather and my uncle and my stepfather. And those two guys were born, and then she connected with another man later on, and the other brother was born, Terry, and that's who I was up in Edinburgh with. And the names actually got mixed. My stepfather got the name of this other military guy. Anyhow, I think my dad made it to about 6 and 8 of him and his brother, and Terry was young. So on Christmas Day, the aunt took all 3 children down to the orphanage and dropped them off. This is why my kids are so important to me. It is such a precious gift to be alive. It is such a precious gift, and children are so fucking precious. And we have so much unconsciousness about our sexuality, about who we are and what we're capable of doing. Oh my God. And everything just gets pimped out to the lowest bidder. Like, that's where we're at. Sean Corn in that PBS documentary, she said, she mentioned this conspiracy, no one's free until we're all free. Well, that's the fucking truth. If you know anything about yoga or yin yang, nobody's free until we're all free, and we're all locked into this debt slave economy. And so this woman couldn't afford her children, and so she had her sister drop them off at the orphanage. And the older ones, my dad and my uncle, were 6 and 8, and so they went into the younger orphanage. They went into the older boys' orphanage, and Uncle Terry went into the baby orphanage, and they were separated for many years. I don't think my father saw his brother until he was in his 30s or 40s. So there you go. They're a product of war, and war profiteering and making money off of war and letting the plebes fight amongst themselves. Watch this as we progress here in whatever convoy, lockdown, awakening. Remember, the bankers have always supplied both sides of the war. So they win no matter what. Because the Rothschilds dynasty, let's face it, has been in existence for a long time. They've made it through all these wars. So the jig is up, guys. This is about control, human avarice, control. It's beyond greed. It's being drunk with power and control. And I understand it, right? Because I live in this world, and you get somewhere and you want to protect it, and then you get into the scarcity mindset where the world's not abundant. Let me just keep my pile over here and you stay away. And that's just magnified to the nth degree of what we're seeing right now with reams of scientific research bias proving poisons are good for you. Manufactured lies are the truth, right? It says this in the Bible. This is all coming, to fruition right now. And so, and they're using their social engineering, and they're co-opting every single idea from the environment to yoga to everything to co-opt and divide you in between the right and left hemispheres of your brain, or the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself. Some call that the devil, the dragon, the yang part of the yin. Doesn't matter what you call it. You're an infinite being. Let's rise above. This is what we're doing. We're rising our frequency and vibrations, our consciousness. If this is the war of the mind and the battlefield of the mind, the human mind, then we must elevate our mind beyond matter. And what have we always done? Innovation, human innovation, through adversity, has always elevated us, mind over matter. The Wright brothers wanted to fly like an eagle. Look at all the ancient artists that were before us. What about Jules Verne, who invented submarines and helicopters in his imagination hundreds of years before these things ever came to fruition, or at least 100 years? So now that this dying dinosaur, which comes from oil conglomerates, before that it comes from money, right? Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Rockefeller Foundation, Pew Trust, these things fund universities, Harvard, Yale, Stanford. Then at that standard, also the news was at a certain standard. Right? They branded it for many years at a certain standard. So when we got to this point, you'd believe everything that they say. Right? This is all by design. This is long-term. This is long-term forward-thinking planning. So, I covered a lot today, and I got a little emotional here in my own head trip and experience. My big message to you guys is, get a high level of discernment and understanding, and do the math inside your own head. Do the mental gymnastics inside your own head so that you can be confident and comfortable, that you don't get usurped into someone else's ideas. And you can be safe and secure for your long-term survival. Ultimately, it all comes down to getting right with God, coming correct with God. I'm in the process of myself, my daily ongoing prayer is just lead me, guide me, and direct me into your light and into your love and into your life, God. Whatever that means, right? And the linguistics, the vibration will carry that wave, right? And I will become that vibration. I've done massive amounts of research on psychology. Everyone wants peace at the level of the heart. And so if that's the case, then I'm calling it forth. I'm calling forth peace in my own heart. You know, I don't really consider, what comes out of me necessarily anger or negativity, right? That is a force. Anger is a gift. Anger is a human emotion. If you deny anything, you deny everything. So, and you've been socially engineered to think that anger is a bad thing, especially when it comes from a man, male aggression. And so, but remember, everything is in balance, and as it should. If it's out of balance, that just means the pendulum's going to swing the other way, right? Until we ultimately find balance. But the essence of what I'm saying is ultimately everything is perfect. These are all catalysts. These are all catalysts for our own awakening. This is what we're going through. We're going through the awakening process. And so stay clear, stay cognizant. Don't get caught up in anyone's, external bullshit. And don't follow false idols, including me, super psycho chicken of planet Earth, cyberspace, fucking your leader. I'm the leader of none, or the leader of one, right? That's a joke, guys. I'm here to lead you back to your own divinity. It exists in all of us. And don't take yourself so seriously. All right, I'm getting caught up in my own shit. Let's bring on a guest. Maybe I can answer some of the questions. Then you will see the underlying truth in every movie and you watch. Yeah, it's all in the movies, It's all ripped as hell and one of the best actors in Hollywood. I think he is the truth, not an actor. An awesome person. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. I appreciate everyone who follows me, all my supporters on Patreon. I'm so grateful for you guys. Everything, all the resources that I have, I dump back into Certified Health Nut. Video manufacturing, education of myself. For the series Yellowstone is really about the tree of life. And so, why don't we bring on Michael? What you seek is seeking you. So seek truth and always seek the light. We'll bring on my wise friend and ancient yogi, Michael Sadal. He's coming on the... We'll put you in front of these cameras, Michael, so everybody else can see you.
How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man.
There's been a lot of stuff in this call, and I salute your vulnerability of sharing some of the stuff about the family, because this is going to the core of who we are.
Yeah, and I didn't realize when I started crying, but how much that was attached to war and banking. You see that?
Yeah.
And then I'm a product of that, and we've been warring for thousands of years as well, and the Spartans did things to their children to make them tough as hell, and I think it's just it's just time that we get a little bit clear on what we're doing.
We've been warring with ourselves forever.
Well, and that's it. And then, look, you're a long-term yogi, so maybe you could share, your process when you started, and what you've seen inside the yoga community, because I know you see what I see, and I don't get me wrong, I love the yoga community, but there's so much fake phoniness, it's fucking ridiculous. and arrogance and hubris, which is the opposite of yoga. Hence my Namaste Motherfuckers t-shirt, which you can get at chngear.com. Shop CHN Gear.
It's the complete opposite of what this practice is been about, or any spiritual practice. If you look at any spiritual practice, it is a recognition of the awareness of yourself, or a recognition of your true nature, right? So, and recently you've been talking a lot about having discriminating mind. Developing a discriminating mind is one of the steps to find or become aware, right? So it's becoming aware around you. So I'm of the ilk and days of Brian Kest and a whole bunch of people before that. And I want to start this by saying there's some great teachers out there. Don't get me wrong. There's some great teachers. But what this business, and I quote this, business has become, it's become a business. It's no longer become a practice for many, many, many people. And this is where it has gone wrong. So if one is on this journey of self-awareness, right, and becoming aware that you are consciousness, you're God, your nature, whatever term you want to throw in here, this is the learning. You have the one thing we have control over is our mind, and developing that to understand ultimately we're all connected, right? So it's not look at me, look at me, look at me, and I don't mean this to be sexist in any way, shape, or form. But years ago, many years ago, I kind of went, wow, if I see another person in a bikini on a beach doing handstand, I'm going to throw up. Because this is what happened. People took little context of this practice out of context, right? And so handstand became this emblem of what, a so-called yoga practitioner was all about. Well, it's just bullshit.
Well, and so
Developing yourself, self-awareness. And what has happened is people aren't interested in doing the work. They want somebody to lead them. They want somebody, and you have all of these, as you just said, false idols out there. What? We are all beautiful. But it's how you utilize this. And the interesting thing about this practice, you mentioned the Ashtanga practice is very easy to pick on, and I'm not going to in that, but any of these physical practices became about attachment, not unattached. It's like, where's the next pose? What can I do? Can I do this more flashy? Not doing the work. I stood on my head every day for an hour for 20 years. And outside, you know what I got? Out of that, I got a callus on the top of my head. Didn't make me any more aware of that particular thing. And I'm not saying it didn't have benefits, but the other work requires that you do the work. Meditation, breath, whatever. All of these things are connected. Breath is prana. Prana is what? Prana is life force. It is this essence of ourself. It's a physical manifestation of this consciousness that is moving all of us. Now, when I started, sorry, I'm on a bit of a rant here, there were no fucking yoga outfits. What's a yoga outfit? You're wearing a t-shirt and a pair of pants. There was no outfits. There were no yoga mats. There were no yoga. Look at this transition. All of this stuff. You needed a yoga mat. Then you needed a bag to carry the mat in.
aha.
Then you needed a water bottle to put in the bag or drink. When in fact, if you go back to this practice, you're not supposed to be drinking during the practice whatsoever, right? So you have all of these other things. It became $1 billion industry, right? I mean, I don't know where people. This is kind of like parallel to where we are. Did people not see this? Right? Some did, some didn't, because some people just want to get in there, right? I mean, I think it's fascinating. I'll use this analogy. I think it's pretty fascinating because I'm a little bit older than you are. And so if I went in my teens to pick up a girl for a date and she was dressed in a gym outfit, I would have turned around and left. Come on. There was a point in time where I didn't even know what some people that I know look like in real clothes, people that I taught for years, right? Or regular clothes, whatever you want to call it. Right? So look at all these things that developed, like, hey, look at me, I got a mat bag, and I have a better mat bag than you. It's not that I have a mat bag. My mat bag is better than yours.
Well, I want to elaborate on that a little bit too. If you know anything about natural fiber clothes and the human biofield and the energetic field, if your field is coming back through plastic yoga pants, polyester yoga pants, the energy is going to be distorted. That's just energetic facts. It's
Latex is not a conductor of energy.
Well, right, and it's like plastic lexicon shields that they sometimes have. They've got them in prisons and they're windows, right? But it's the difference between looking through glass and looking through plastic, right? There's a difference. And so your energy field naturally goes out and it's coming in back through the body distorted. It goes out and in a toroidal and it spins around the body. And so there you go. There's what you get for wearing your yoga pants all day long. It's distorting your energy field. And so, but here's the other thing. When I was doing Ashtanga, Michael, I heard about more serious calamity injuries, knee, ankle, like stretching the ligaments out beyond, knee and shoulder issues as a common thing as injury, and the competitiveness. I went and closed the window because I like to sweat during my yoga class. And one of the black belt yogis that was in there, one of the prettier girls that did the handstands all the time, and she was in series 5 or whatever, the window had to be open for her. Let me tell you. And then she told me, and then she told the teacher, and the teacher, me, right? So it's like this fucking hierarchy of Ashtanga yoga. Who was the teacher? It was Maddie. Another arrogant person, Maddie, that started Yoga Works in LA. Let's call out all these fucking hubris, arrogant, fucking yoga teachers that are just fucking assholes and that just hid behind yoga to do their assholery.
Which is one of the first studios are changed and sold out to the corporate world.
Of course. And I think, she was one of my yoga coaches. I just went to her. She had a Ashtanga Mysore, so I would just check in. But her fucking attitude, I fucking hate it. Big shout out to Maddie. You're a fucking fraud, right? And so...
all of these practices were meant to do by yourself, right? All of these practices, not with somebody coming up and cranking you and whoever, talk about injuries, right? And the irony of this practice was to allow yourself to be in a vibrant life when you were in your 80s and 90s and whatever. The issue is, and I fall into this category because I jumped right in there full hog at one point. Now you've got more people injured through this practice, not being able to move, severe knee problems, joint problems, this, all the rest, right? So it's all gotten to your term very competitive. Well, competitiveness and spirituality are not in, they don't go together. It's not part of the fad. So, but this is corporate whatever, right? It became a billion-dollar business. There wasn't, how many teacher frickin' training programs do you think are going on in the world right now? I'm gonna cover it. The world does not need another yoga teacher. We have a billion yoga teachers. We have a billion yoga teachers all doing marginal programs, 200 programs, and suddenly they're certified to do whatever they want, right? Well, do the work. I've been teaching for 31 years. My first teacher training program was almost 1,800 hours. The second was way beyond that. I study continually. I'm still studying, and I know shit. So what can I tell you? I don't know anything other than that. I'm on this continual journey of finding out about myself and how I fit in this universe. One, that I'm actually it. I am this universe, right? Which means I have a freaking responsibility to everybody else around me. So, you know what? At the core of this consciousness is love, bliss, right? This is at the core of all consciousness, and it's the core of all of us. And where are we with that? Why aren't people understanding that at a time where we need it the most?
Well, let me just have a commercial break here. This is Michael Sadal, everyone, the Abundant Yogi on Instagram. Maybe he's on Facebook, I don't know, but he is on Instagram. He's a Canadian. He's traveling. He's one of my business partners. I've been in business with him for a couple of years. He's been a dear friend and a mentor. I learn from people like Michael. He's a wise person. And as you can see, he doesn't come off with this edge. But the big question is, do you have a Namaste Motherfuckers t-shirt?
No, I've got to get one because I was looking at your stuff the other day and I thought I gotta buy some of this stuff because I like the hats. I love this sweatshirt. So I gotta get out there and get some stuff because it's great.
Well, look, you're on my team, so I'll get you one item for sure. If you didn't let Barbaro know, let him know. I'll get one out to you. But everyone who's watching this and you, Michael, you can use the code PsychoChickens30, and that gets 30% off. I run on a zero profit. And we just get it out to the people for free speech. So Psycho Chicken's 30. You guys can order whatever you want. Michael, I will get you a gift as
My pleasure. I just want to say a couple of things before I click off because I don't want to dominate stuff. But I mean, one of the things about Troy that Troy's Troy, right? You are who you are. There's no hiding. There's nothing. You stay with us. This is what we are. We are in a place of sitting in our true natures. That doesn't mean everybody's going to agree with us. I don't want everybody to agree with me. That's okay. Be open for dialogue. And the one thing that I do want to mention before I go is for those people who are watching this, particularly Canadians and Americans who might be discouraged about what's happening north of the border, don't be. Don't forget this, and I was in this time period. Don't forget the 60s and 70s. It got ugly before it got better. Kent State, students were shot. The Chicago 7. Abby Hoffman was on the road for his whole life. Okay, the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King. People were trampled. They were run over. They were killed. They were assassinated. Things get ugly before they get better, and we as Canadians are standing up for everybody to make it better for everybody, and it's got to start there. So the shit that's going on in Ottawa now is a freedom protest for the world, not just for Canadians.
That's correct. And the Sean Corns of the world are in the way for the evolution of consciousness.
100%. Well, they don't go. The irony of this is there's two statements. If you see a master on the road that says, okay, if you see somebody who comes up to you and tells you you're a master, you should turn around and run as fast away from them as possible. And where that statement came from was if you see Buddha on the road, kill him because it's not Buddha.
Right? That's great. So tell us your schedule again. When you're still in Mexico?
I'm still in Mexico to the end of March. We're back in Canada. I'm looking about putting together some other platforms, some ideas that I have in mind about humanness. So I'll keep you informed on that. As you know, we're both business partners trying to transform people. I want to say something about transformation.
Let me ask you a question. Are you teaching anything right now? Because there's a lot of people on the thread that want to follow you as a teacher. Do you have a website or anywhere else that they can follow you?
There's a website that's called healthylifewithmichael.com. I'm not actively teaching at the moment. I've been happy. If somebody wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to put something together for them. I was not excited where the whole digital platform went with respect to yoga because it was just an extension of all the other bullshit. So I'm happy to do something if people are interested. I love teaching, and if they put it out there, that's something I'm looking at incorporating when I go back, because I will only teach what I know, what I am about, and it's not that I know. This is just my perspective.
What's your email?
It's they can reach me at michaelsiddallyoga@gmail.com.
Can you spell that?
It's MICHAELSI David A Larry yoga@gmail.com. I'd be happy to answer anybody's question, dialogue with you, help you in terms of anything that you'd like, especially in terms of getting, because Troy and I are both big believers that, you mentioned body, mind, and spirit. You have to take care of this body for this spirit to shine. And that includes what you put in it. He started this Zoom today, or IG Live, with a liquid sunshine and all the herbs to make your healthy. So if you're interested in helping, getting involved with that, I can help you as well.
Okay, so awesome. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. And we will see you soon, my brother.
Troy, stand in your power and love what you do, and peace out, man.
Awesome. There we go, guys. Michael Siddall, the Abundant Yogi. Please follow him on Instagram. And then let's see if we can turn my phone around here. There we go. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I don't ever want to come off, too aggressive and, violent towards other people, but I'm here to call bullshit, right? Bullshit, right? That's why we have free speech. So phony, fake yoga teachers, wannabe health coaches that work with companies that sell garbage, fillers, binders, carcinogens, this product, that product. Look, guys, if it's not organic and the company hasn't been into organics for at least a decade, get the fuck away from that company. They're just jumping on the boat trying to get on the health bandwagon. It's Jesus in the bottle. Hey, it's good for everything. It's gonna blah, blah, blah. It's gonna blah, 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 right? But they don't tell you what the fucking ingredients are right on the back. Maltodextrin, magnesium stearate, no, Siddall, Michael Siddall, Siddall, Shirley. And so Michael Siddall. And I'll tag him on my Instagram as well. I'll tag him on this Facebook post. So, all right, I got a little sidetracked. What did it say? It was good to learn about yoga clothes and frequency. Thanks. Yeah, we got to be very cognizant. Why do you think I love shopping in the thrift stores? Because I can find textiles that are natural fibers that were built before this whole China invasion. All this plastic, synthetic crap from China. We live in a synthetic world. Personally, a synthetic digital world. And I like the analog world. I like the natural world. I found so much balance and ballast within the natural world, whether it's natural food, natural exercise, nature itself, being grounded to the earth. Sunlight is the best disinfectant we've ever seen. We can't invent something better. Got to remove the karma you may have with previous clothes owners. Let's not get caught up too much in the world of ideas, guys, right? We are going back to God. We're not adopting the beast system as Sean Corn is promoting, right? All these fake yoga teachers thinking they're enlightened. They're just fake, phony people. I don't care if they're fucking yoga. Who cares? Yoga's just a word. I don't care if you're fucking Catholic, priest, president, fucking pope. Give a fuck. I grew up on the street. I don't give a fuck. You bleed red, motherfucker. You might be a psychopath and you might be an alien. I don't give a fuck. I am the sum total of the all. Give a fuck. Right? Give a fuck. I'll go to the gym and have a good day. I'll go for a ride on my bike. Right? Namaste, motherfuckers. Right? Namaste. From the love and vibration of my heart, I see the God in you, you motherfucker. Right? Which for me, in my linguistic pattern, growing up on the street, is a term of endearment. I love you guys so much. Namaste, motherfuckers.